Welcome to episode 55 of the Reality Podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells for all notifications. When it comes to wrestling fans, either on Twitter or Facebook or whatever the fuck it is, people are always going to complain about one little thing. I was at GameStop yesterday, picking up my NBA 2K20, the Legend Edition. And when I was on my way there, I have found out that Cody Rhodes will be going one-on-one with Chris Jericho at AEW Full Gear on November 9th in Baltimore for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. People were asking, why? Why is Cody facing Jericho? Isn't it Cody the executive vice president of AEW? Yes, he is. But look at his one-on-one record. Look at his singles match record. He hasn't lost a one-on-one match. Cody hasn't lost a one-on-one match, yeah. Despite the fact that he beat his brother at Double or Nothing. He beat, who did he beat? He beat Shawn Spears at All Out. That's two one-on-one matches. Yeah, but he's been in two. He's been in another singles match where he was in a draw against, I think, Darby Allin. I think that was a draw, and he lost a tag team match to the Young Bucks. You got to look at his singles match record. He's 2-0. He hasn't lost a one-on-one match since AEW's debut. He hasn't lost. So that warrants, by default, that warrants him a AEW World Heavyweight Championship match against Chris Jericho. Am I gonna sit here and complain about that? No, I'm not. Listen, I love Cody and I love Jericho. I love both those men. I think Cody and Jericho will deliver a 5-star classic at Full Gear, which I will be watching, by the way. Not only I'll be watching the show, I'll also review the show as well. So look out for that on November 9th. On Saturday. Oh, I think it's a Saturday. Yeah, it is a Saturday. Never mind that. I don't know why people are just bugging and just going crazy. Oh, why is Cody getting a title shot? Isn't he the EVP of All Elite Wrestling? Why are you people hating on that decision? Cody has not lost a one-on-one match. He hasn't lost a one-on-one match. He hasn't. And look at the matches Cody has had leading up to this spot. Had a match against fucking Dustin, Gold Dust at fucking Double or Nothing. One of the most bloodiest matches I've ever seen. He fought Shawn Spears at All Out. That was a great match. Look at the one-on-one matches Cody's had. Like, what do you want me to say here? Like, if you people are going to hear about a Jericho Rhodes match at Full Gear, don't watch the show. Don't watch the show. What is it your concern anyway? Aren't you people hating AEW? Didn't you call AEW a t-shirt company? You did call AEW a t-shirt company. Yeah, you want to sit there and hate on a Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know what to tell you folks. Don't watch the show. Don't watch the show. People want to hate on AEW, but then again, they want to sit there and talk shit about the fucking decisions that they make. Don't watch the show. Don't watch the show. It's just that simple. It is just that fucking simple. Don't watch the show. And also, Cody even said himself, Cody's not going to cater to the casual wrestling fan. He's not. And to be honest with you folks, I don't blame Cody for not catering to the casual. Vince does. If you want somebody to cater to the casual, go to Vince. Go to Vince. Because I know AEW is not going to insult my intelligence as well as NXT. I have no idea what to tell you here. No idea. I have no idea here what the fuck to tell you. Cody versus Jericho is going to be a fantastic match. I don't care if there's a stipulation into it or no stipulation. The match is going to be great. The match is going to be great. And I can't wait for fucking Full Gear. I can't wait. Can October 2nd come any sooner? Can October 2nd come any sooner? Then also people are gonna say, "Oh, how are you gonna build that, Max Chris? Oh, how are you gonna build it?" Being the lead, the television show, obviously they're gonna build it towards that. Come on, folks, really? Come on. You people do not use your brains on a weekly basis. You don't. You fucking don't. Anyways, guys, this is episode 55 of the Reality Podcast. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm your boy Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Friday, September 6th, 2019. And my God, it is hoodie season here in the East Coast. Round of applause. Thank God. Thank God. We got through the summer, folks. We got through the summer. Anyways, if you guys are enjoying the content so far, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. What was your match of the weekend? Was it Walter and Tyler Bate? Was it Pac and Omega? Was it the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks? Leave a comment down below. Sound off in the comment section. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below. Turn on both guys for notifications. Episode 5 of Crash Team Racing live on the channel right now. Link to this video will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Also, check out episode 54 of the Reality Podcast from this past Friday. There was barely any news last weekend, so I apologize there. Episode 54 of the podcast will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Also, check out Monday Night Raw review as well. Ricochet and Samoa Joe both advanced. I ranted completely on that. Plus, Bayley's heel turn. Yet, she was a fucking babyface on SmackDown Live. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Link to Raw review will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Also, check out NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff review. I know. I gave it to you guys late, but at least you guys get it now than never. So there you go. NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff review will be in the annotation above that you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Check out all these videos there. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you are following me on social media. Twitter, Chris from Loring, Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below and turn on those bells, guys, for all notifications. Let's begin episode number 55 of the Reality Podcast right here on the channel. We're going to begin the podcast with this piece of information here, if I can fucking find it here. Oh, boy. WWE and AEW fighting to sell tickets in the same market. You heard me right. AEW might be the new game in town, but with a lot of buzz behind them, but World Entertainment isn't afraid to throw their weight around. Tickets for AEW's television shows in Charlotte and Chicago went on sale this week, and as fans get tickets to those shows, they have other options. WWE also has events in the area that they are looking to sell out as well. Classic Champions tickets are still on sale in Charlotte. That September 15th that September 15th event might come before AEW rolls into town on November the 6th. It is still notable. AEW will be at the Bojangles Arena, which is a smaller venue than the Spectrum Arena, which WWE will hold the pay-per-view in, but the company has sold around 8,000 tickets for that show, meaning WWE. The two pro wrestling companies are also colliding in the Chicago market as well. Tickets for AEW's Thanksgiving show are already on sale for the Sears Center. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter noted that AEW has already sold 4,000 tickets for the next Sears Center show. Of course, WWE will be holding Survivor Series in Chicago this year on November 24th as NXT TakeOver, Raw, and SmackDown as well. It is being reported that all 4 shows have sold well. Survivor Series is expected to sell 12,000 tickets, and the other shows will probably bring in 8,500 to 9,000 fans. Really? Telling you. AEW effect, folks, is real, folks. AEW effect is fucking real. Now, the one show that I'm looking forward to the most is, obviously, when it comes to November, Full Gear, NXT TakeOver War Games 3, which will obviously be in Chicago, at the Allstate Arena, the Rosemont Horizon. And I guess I can look forward to Survivor Series, depending if it's Raw versus SmackDown, which I think they will do. Because the last 2 years of Survivor Series, meaning 2018 and 2017. They were really good. I'm talking about Survivor Series. Don't get me wrong. NXT TakeOver War Games, both those years were fantastic. Was it better than Survivor Series? Yeah, it was. Sure. But I think when it comes to the main roster, I think Survivor Series on Raw vs. SmackDown has been really good for the past 2 years. Has been really, really good for the past 2 years. And I hope they keep it like that with the Raw versus SmackDown dynamic in 2019. I hope they do that. I really hope that they do. I really do, because it's just simple. You go for the IC champion versus the US champion, the Raw Women's champion versus the SmackDown Women's champion, Raw Tag Team champion versus SmackDown Tag Team champions, Universal champion going up against whoever the WWE champion is. That's it. Raw versus SmackDown dynamic. Keep it that way. Keep it that way for 2019 for the Survivor Series, because I think it'll be a good move if they kept doing that. I think it'll be a really good move. What else do I have here? I have a bunch of news here that I want to save up for tomorrow. What else do I have here? I don't really have that much here for today also. WWE, I'll stick with this one. WWE is planning heavily script NXT program. Whatever the fuck that means. NXT brand is likely to go through a lot of changes with their move to the USA Network. September 18th is set to be a big night where some long-time NXT fans can notice something is a bit different as well. Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Goes Radio that NXT's live 2-hour show is going to be heavily script, quote unquote. This is a departure from the way it used to be in a manner of speaking. They really didn't have much time of scripting because of the previous hour-long format. This is why wrestling was highlighted so much on the show. Now with NXT being 2 hours, they are bringing in more writers and things are going to be heavily scripted. As we previously reported, WWE actually gave certain superstars some more room to flex their creative muscle last week, as a couple of segments weren't as tightly scripted as they would have loved to be in the past. Of course, on the other side is AEW, who will send their wrestlers out for a promo with only possible bullet points. This is what I love. This is certainly a different way of looking at things. It will also be interesting to see how Tactic ends up winning out in the end. As long as there's long-term booking in NXT, I don't mind it. As long as there's long-term booking in NXT, I completely don't mind. Don't mind that at all. Now, I don't mind not having scripted promos. I don't mind it. If they're going to have that in NXT, I wouldn't mind it. Just have them come out with bullet points and they can talk about that from there. And if also you want to build up also another good thing about heavily scripted stuff, the least you can do is not only have bullet points, but also bring in some real life situations. It makes the storyline of two superstars feuding that much better. So I wouldn't mind that. But I know that in the main roster, they're not going to do that. I can see them doing that in NXT. They're already doing that in AEW. There's no scripted promos. Just come out with bullet points and say what the fuck you want to say. That's it. I love that. I love that. AEW's doing it. NXT should do the exact same thing as well. Speaking of the main roster, why WWE is bringing The Undertaker back to Madison Square Garden? I wonder why. I sit here. When I found out that The Undertaker was going to be at MSG, I found out that, something's up here. You don't normally call on The Undertaker to do a show at MSG without something possibly happening. Why World Wrestling Entertainment is bringing The Undertaker back to Madison Square Garden? I wonder why. The Undertaker will be on SmackDown Live next week. The actual purpose of his visit is still shrouded in mystery, but we do know that he is not planning on another match anytime soon. Yeah, sure. They've been able to confirm that Wrestling Observer Radio that The Undertaker is not scheduled for a Clash of Champions match. Why would he? Why would he? You don't build the Undertaker match with a week of build. You don't do that. You don't ever do that. This was something WWE planned for because they thought that they would need help selling tickets for SmackDown Live at MSG. The truth is they needed help selling tickets for both nights in Madison Square Garden. Obviously, you guys know that Austin will be on Raw Monday night and Taker will be on SmackDown Tuesday. This is what they must have said, and I quote, I was told that's not the case, that Taker will wrestle at Clash of Champions. I thought that myself, and I was told no. He's not. He's going to be on the show. Basically, the guest was going to be on SmackDown show because they hoped that he would help sell tickets because they thought that Raw show would be an easy sellout and the second show, SmackDown, would need help, end quote. The fact is that neither show are going to sell out at the world's most famous arena, but they're giving it a very good try. Bringing back Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker for back-to-back shows still isn't bringing in a ton of fans. You can blame anything from ticket prices to technology to the company's popularity, but something isn't what it used to be. Bruno Sammartino had no problem selling out the same building for Vince McMahon's father countless times in a row. Now they might have to break out the tarps to cover up empty sections of seating at Madison Square Garden. If you're not selling out Madison Square Garden, your company has a fucking problem. I wonder why they're not selling out Madison Square Garden. What? What is that? AEW, folks. AEW. I guarantee you, if AEW was to have a show at Madison Square Garden, they would instantly sell out. Well, not instantly, but it'll take maybe like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours tops. It took them, I think, almost 2 hours to sell out the first show on DC at the Capital One Arena on October 2nd. I think it took them about 2 hours to sell out the whole entire show. I think so. But can you blame them? Who else you have to blame? And it's also crazy how the fact that the company is not selling out MSG. You have to call in Stone Cold Steve Austin, who we saw at Raw Reunion just a couple of weeks ago. And you have to call in The Undertaker, who we haven't seen since Extreme Rules. What is Taker going to be there for? What is he cutting a promo on? This is something I need to know coming into Tuesday for SmackDown Live. What is Taker going to do that we haven't seen him do yet? Now, I've spoken to people, and what they told me is completely ridiculous. I don't know why this is even being brought up or even a thought. I've had people tell me Taker is going to be on SmackDown Live on Tuesday just for Bray Wyatt to attack The Undertaker. Why would you want that to happen? Huh? Why? On the go-home show of SmackDown Live before Clash of Champions, you are going to have Bray Wyatt attack The Undertaker? I don't know. I'm still asking myself to this day, since Taker was announced for MSG, what is Taker going to do on SmackDown Live? If this visit for Taker is not pushing a match towards Crown Jewel for October, I think it's the end of October, early November, why is he there for? Why is he there? Now, I don't mind seeing Undertaker. He's my all-time favorite superstar. He's my favorite superstar of all time. I'm not going to complain seeing Taker walk down that aisle and enter the ring to cut a promo, but I got to ask, what is he there for? Why is he there? Can I get a specific reason why he's there? Other than that, he's just wasting his time. Taker's just there to collect a paycheck. That's all he's there for at this point. That's all he's there for. I have no idea what to tell you here. I have no idea what to tell you. I want to talk about this certain topic here real quick. People want my thoughts on this whole Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch situation with Bayley turning heel on Raw this past Monday. We'll talk about that before I get into the news as well. So far, throughout Sasha's heel turn, throughout Sasha's heel run, I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm enjoying it. But you gotta sit there and ask yourself. You gotta sit there and ask yourself this question. What is Sasha doing to gain a Raw Women's title match? Other than that, what has Sasha done? What has Sasha Banks done to receive a Raw Women's title match? Now, I spoken to Arnold about this yesterday while I was waiting for my 2K game. And obviously, me and Arnold have a great mind for the business. We do. Me and Arnold completely agreed on what we both said to each other. Arnold, if you're watching, shout out to you, bro. There's no reason for Sasha to come back and have her lose to Becky. If you're going to have Sasha come back after a 4-month hiatus, have her come back, you have to have her beat Becky Lynch. You have to. There's no other choice. Other than that, you're not going to sit there and have Sasha Banks come back after 4 months and have her lose to Becky Lynch. There's no way possible. There's no way possible. Like, you have Sasha Banks to come back after a 4-month hiatus and have her lose to Becky Lynch. There's no way in hell they're doing this. But this is WWE that we're talking about. This is WWE here that we're talking about. Who knows? Does Sasha win at Clash of Champions? I hope she does. I sit here and I hope that she does. Because A, I'd rather have Becky chase the championship over her still being champion and having a heel like Sasha Banks chase after Becky. And then on top of that, with Bayley's heel turn, this is what I'm booking between now and WrestleMania. This is how I'm booking between now and WrestleMania. I would have Sasha beat Becky for the Raw Women's Championship at Clash of Champions. That's what I'm doing. The payoff to this feud is Hell in a Cell. Now, I don't know how you guys would feel about a Sasha Banks Becky Lynch Hell in a Cell match. I wouldn't mind it. I know back in the beginning of this whole Sasha Banks feud, I said to myself, I don't want those two women inside Hell in a Cell. Now I do, because you gotta have a payoff. You gotta have the payoff. You gotta have the payoff. So I would have Sasha beat Becky at Clash of Champions for the Raw Women's title, carry that feud going into Hell in a Cell, with Becky earning an opportunity, not just having Becky look at the championship and have her gain another title shot. Because I don't see Ronda Rousey coming back anytime soon. I don't see Ronda coming back anytime soon. Because if Ronda was to come back, you should have had her come back by SummerSlam. By SummerSlam. I think it's too late now for Ronda to come back. Unless Ronda comes back at Survivor Series, which I highly doubt. Becky and Sasha will fight at Hell in a Cell. Bayley will still be a heel. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the 4 horsewomen of World Wrestling Entertainment is on a feud with each other. Sasha and Becky, and Bayley and Charlotte. They are the 4 horsewomen of WWE. And they're in a feud with each other. Now, I had somebody tell me, oh, what if they book 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen at Survivor Series? How? How are you going to do that? Can I ask how? Ronda is still on hiatus in this impregnation vacation. You still got Shayna as the NXT Women's Champion. I think it's only a matter of time before she loses the title. And also you got Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, both in NXT. How are you going to call them up? Don't know. I think they either save that match for next year's SummerSlam. I think that's the perfect time to do it. Next year's SummerSlam. I think that's the perfect time to do it. 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen next year. And on top of that, Ronda will probably be back by 2020. Shayna, Marina, and Jessamine Duke will probably be called up to the main roster by next summer. They'll probably be called up. They would probably be called up. If anything. I think Shayna, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir, they'll be called up possibly by WrestleMania. By after WrestleMania. They'll probably be called up. Back to this whole feud here. I would have Sasha and Becky fight inside Hell in a Cell for the Raw Women's title. Sasha retains. Bayley's still a heel, right? Bayley's still a heel. There was rumors. There was a rumor going around, I think, this past week that Sasha and Bayley was going to go one-on-one at Survivor Series. After what happened on Raw Monday night, I asked, how you going to do that with Bayley being a heel? Or quote-unquote, a heel. How you going to do that, Max? Huh? How? Does this tell me that Charlotte wins the championship at Clash of Champions and somewhere between Clash of Champions and Survivor Series, you have Bayley win back the title? Unless if they're doing that route, then fine, be my guest. Then, if they're booking Sasha versus Bayley at Survivor Series, that's when Bayley will turn babyface and Sasha will turn heel. And Sasha will remain as a heel. Then, if anything, you have Bayley lose the championship again, most likely either Charlotte or somebody else. Asuka. Oh, whoa. I apologize. I will build up Bayley as the babyface, have her win the Women's Royal Rumble match, and then you have the NXT type vibe with boss like bitch like Sasha Banks versus Hugger Bayley at WrestleMania. That's what me and Arnold was just talking about. And to be honest with you, I think that's what the company's gonna do. I think so. I think that's what the company is going to do. Oh, and by the way, I said this on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. When the news broke out that NXT was going to go 2 hours. They said, I believe as of last week, or at least a couple of days ago. At least a couple of days ago, or at least yesterday, or the day before. 1 hour, NXT will be on the USA Network. The other hour is going to be on the WWE Network. Now, I said this to Storms, and Storms disagree with it. Now, Storms, if you disagree on it, comment down below or DM me on Twitter on why do you disagree. I agree with this. Because one, is going to have everybody who's watching NXT on the USA Network. You want to watch hour 2? Get the network. You can watch hour 2. And also, mainly, everybody has the network because of NXT. I believe at least 70 to 80% of everybody that has a network has the network because of NXT. Because of NXT, because of TakeOver, NXT UK TakeOver, NXT UK, and the pay-per-views. And then also the content that we get on the network, which is fantastic. Listen, one thing I love about the network is the content that they put out. I love it. You know, Table of Three, you know, Ride Along, stuff like that. Especially my favorite, WWE 24. It brings you back, you know, behind the scenes and shit that you don't see, and they show it on the network. That I love. That is something I can appreciate as a wrestling fan for over 20 years. But Storms, if you're watching, this is my reason why it's a good idea to have 1 hour on live television and the other hour on the network. If you're watching on USA, the first hour, and it's gonna continue going to the second hour. You want to watch the second hour of NXT? Get the network. It's $9.99. Also, your first month is free. The first month is free. This is a way for the network to get new subscribers. They're using NXT to get new subscribers. And why not? It's a good business move. In my opinion, it's a good business move. It's a good business move. And I love it. And I called that out on the podcast a couple weeks ago before they even announced it this week. So I think the company right now is at least watching me because I put that out there a couple of weeks back. Oh, NXT should go 1 hour on live television, and then the second hour should go on the network. You want to watch hour 2? Get the network. You sign up, you get your first month free. And then if you decide to keep it, you can pay the $9.99 and keep on watching NXT every single Wednesday when it goes to the second hour. I love it. I love it. Let me guys know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts of NXT going from 1 hour on live television and the second hour going on to the WWE Network? I think it's a great idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. Moving on here with the news here. As you guys see the thumbnail. Next WWE draft dates reportedly have been confirmed. Wildcard rule, rest in peace. World Wrestling Entertainment is gearing up for a lot for the next few months as they settle into new television deals this October. It appears that the roster will get a little switch around as well. Post Wrestling reports that the next draft is scheduled for next month. It will reportedly take place over 2 episodes and is set for October 11th and October the 14th. This will mean that SmackDown gets the first crack at the draft on Friday in Las Vegas, followed by October 14th in Raw in Denver. We'll have to see how things turn out because the company will probably want more stable rosters. Another draft could get them into a good position from this point on. The wildcard rule was fun while it lasted, right? The wildcard rule was completely fucking dreadful. Completely fucking dreadful. Also, I heard a rumor about NXT being involved in the draft. If I can find the report here. If I can find the report. NXT. Now, first of all, let me... Give me a second here. I think let me just... Give me a second here. Okay, got that out of the way. Now, I'm going to follow this report with the NXT report. With NXT possibly getting into the WWE draft. Now, according to Brad Shepard, this is what he tweeted, and I quote. Now, I'm going to read the report first and then read Brad Shepard's tweet. WWE looks to be preparing for a new television contract next month by getting their rosters in order. Now it appears that NXT could get the same treatment. I don't know about that. I don't want to see main roster guys going to NXT. I don't. I don't want to see Gargano getting drafted to Raw, Ciampa getting drafted, Undisputed Era getting drafted, Velveteen Dream drafted. I don't want to see. I don't want to see those men go. I really don't. I really don't here. We previously reported that another WWE draft is apparently coming. However, Brad Shepard has an addition to the plan. His source in the company has also opened up the possibility of including NXT in the fun this time around. This is what Brad Shepard tweeted on Twitter, and I quote, "The WWE draft confirms the end of the wildcard rule, as I reported weeks ago. I confirmed the draft dates for Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, which John Pollock reported, although I'm told the draft may actually start on October 9th episode of NXT, which is to be determined." End quote. Holding the NXT draft on AEW's second week on TNT could be a really smart move. That I agree. Fans could be much more likely to change the channel on the second week rather than the debut episode. Including NXT in the draft could certainly put out the feeling of a third brand equal to the others. NXT isn't just a developmental anymore, because now that's on the USA Network, they will play a very important piece, the puzzle during the Wednesday Night Wars. There's one positive about this, and there's one negative. One positive, one negative. The one positive is about this whole NXT possibly being included to the draft. It gets more eyes on NXT, especially on the second week. Because nobody, and I'm going to say this now, I'm going to watch both AEW on TNT and NXT on the USA Network. I'm going to be watching both on that same day. And also, I have to watch the fucking American League wildcard game as well on that October 2nd. So I'm going to be a pretty busy guy come October 2nd with AEW, NXT, and the American League wildcard game. Because if the season was to end today, The Yankees will have home field advantage, and they'll have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. So if you have the best record, you have to play the winner of the wild card game. So there you go. Like I said, one positive about this is the fact that the second week, NXT could possibly be on the draft. They could possibly be held into the draft. People are gonna want to watch who gets drafted to NXT. People are gonna sit there and watch who gets drafted to NXT. Now, you guys are wondering, Chris, who would you draft to NXT? Who would you draft to Raw? Who would you draft to SmackDown? I will do that when we inch closer and closer to the draft. I will hold the episode of the podcast, and then I'll let you guys know from there. But it does create an intrigue though. Who would get drafted to NXT? So that's the one positive. The one negative is you hope and pray that Gargano, Ciampa, Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream, Shayna Baszler, among others that we love in NXT, don't get drafted to the main roster. Because the report even said it. NXT is a legit third brand. And I agree. NXT is a third brand. Another thing that I'm going to agree on, it says here, holding the NXT draft on AEW's second week on TNT could be a really smart move. So people who are fans of both World Wrestling Entertainment and All Elite Wrestling, if you want to watch a draft for NXT, tune into the USA Network and get the network. This is why I said what I said. Having NXT on two separate parts, on 2 separate hours is a good thing. NXT being live on the US Network for 1 hour, the second hour is going to be on the network. That I love. This is why. You want to have people tune in to NXT for the 2 hours, get the network for the second hour. This is what I said. Long term, which I absolutely love. Now we just all hope and pray to God that Gargano, Ciampa, Cole, Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream, everybody else don't get drafted to the main roster. Because you know how they do. You know how they're going to do in the main roster. Done. Dead on arrival. I want to say some news for tomorrow. How long am I in here? 37 minutes. Man, it's been a short podcast so far. Sheesh. I'll probably end the podcast with one more piece of it, with one more report, and then I'll save the rest for possibly tomorrow. I'm going to record episode 56 of the podcast later tonight. And you guys will get it tomorrow when I come out of work from NYCFC. If you guys are soccer fans, leave a comment down below. What's your favorite soccer team? My favorite soccer team, obviously, is NYCFC of the MLS. That's my favorite team. That is my favorite team. I have been a fan of NYCFC since 2017. And I love that team whatsoever. I love that team at all. Huge changes. And this is the end of the podcast here. Huge changes made to the WWE writing teams. WWE has multiple brands working at the same time, and now one man who had a top role on SmackDown Live is now out. F4W Online reports that Ryan Ward is now out of his previous role in the company. Ward had previously held the position as lead writer to SmackDown Live. It is reported that there are some signs of trouble between Ward and Vince McMahon. This could be due to all the script ripping and changing that Vince makes pretty much every single week. At this time, Ryan Ward is being listed as out of personal leave. Now Ed Kolsky will be moving over from Raw to work with Eric Bischoff on the Blue Team. Jonathan Backestorm will now be the lead writer on Raw and will work with Paul Heyman. Can you blame Ryan Ward for just leaving? Can you blame him? Vince gets the script, the final script for SmackDown, and he tears it up as if nothing even happened. This is why Raw and SmackDown is completely terrible, because Vince is still in power. Vince is fucking ripping up the script for no fucking reason. For no fucking reason. I don't know how Vince has this talented roster, You look at both Raw and SmackDown's roster. Talented. Some of the most talented people I have ever seen. Yet Vince is treating them like fucking crap. This is fucking tough. That is tough. I don't blame Ryan Ward for leaving, because I know Ryan Ward wrote some good shit for SmackDown Live. I think he was the writer for SmackDown Live. I think it was 2016, I believe. I think it was 2016, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Ryan Ward that did that. He used to be the head writer for NXT, and look at the shit that he's done. Look at the shit that he's done in NXT. Ryan Ward. Look what he's done to NXT. The way that NXT is right now. Thank Ryan Ward for that. Thank Ryan Ward for that. Do I blame Ryan Ward for leaving? No, I don't. Because Vince constantly rips up the script and expects them to write a new script as the show goes on. What makes you think Raw and SmackDown has been terrible for the past couple of weeks? Completely garbage. Ryan Ward, I believe Ryan Ward was also responsible for the way SmackDown was on the road to WrestleMania. It was really good. Raw was terrible every single week during WrestleMania season. SmackDown was really good during WrestleMania season. There was that period of time from I think after TLC to WrestleMania. That long gap, SmackDown had really good shows. Especially with, building up Kofi and shit, having Daniel Bryan as the champion, his feud against AJ Styles, Kofi trying to build his way up to the championship at WrestleMania. It was great shit. Now look at SmackDown now. Garbage. Same thing as Raw. Garbage. Raw and SmackDown have a big thing in common. Both shows are fucking garbage. And that, folks, is the reality of things here on episode 55 of the Reality Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this has been a short podcast, but I'm trying to save up some news for tomorrow. If you guys enjoy the podcast, leave a thumbs up. Smash that like button as hard as you possibly can. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast so far. And also, what was your favorite match of this past weekend? Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for notifications. Episode 5 of Crash Team Racing live on the channel right now. Episode 54 of the Reality Podcast as well live on the channel right now, as well as Monday Night Raw. And NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff Review live on the channel right now. My God. The match between Walter and Tyler Bate. My God. Hard hitting. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure you are following me on social media. Twitter, Chris from Roaring, and Snapchat, Chris was Hated. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to show your support by hitting that subscribe button down below. And also turn on those buttons, guys, for notifications. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 55 of the Reality Podcast. We will go over episode 56 of the Reality Podcast tomorrow. We will go over some more news and rumors right here on the podcast. Until then, I'm Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video all over social media. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 56 of the Reality Podcast. So then, I am Chris. Talk to you guys later.